So, quick heads up to this FMQ. As usual, it's 12 odd minutes long. What you're going to get from this, you're going to get something really important about the noise that surrounds you, the noise that goes into the back door of your subconscious mind and can taint the way you think. And I don't want anything to taint the way you think other than creation, imagineering, positivity, curiosity, things that are all positive. Have a listen, and I think you'll get one, but I know you will.
Warning. 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 You are entering into the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. Too late. Personal Development Unplugged.
Okay, so today, this episode is all about you deciding, you choosing, and more than anything, for you to question. What am I talking about? What are you talking about, Cluffy? Well, here's what I'm talking about. Everyone tells you that you're bombarded with noise. What do I mean by noise? On things like adverts, the media, the news. Everything you get is coming at you from one way or other. You've got Facebook, you've got social media, you've got all these things which are bombarding you with things, stuff, noise. I call it noise. Some are really good. Some are, well, not so good, and some are damn right. You know, they're really twisted. But even in the good ones, there can be a negative message. And sometimes it slips in behind the good one. And you have to be really vigilant to listen with like all your senses, but that inner sense as well. And it is an innocence of innocent. So, see, the other day I was listening to someone who I greatly admire and I greatly respect. And they were talking about a problem that someone had. And he was saying, well, go to a therapist, do this and really address the problem, find the root cause. And I thought, this is perfect, really perfect. And then he said, well, you do know that childhood patterns are really hard to break out of. And I'm thinking, where is this? You see, in the context of going to see a nice therapist, a good therapist, getting rid of your issues, dealing with the root cause is a lovely positive message. But tagged on to the end, the last bit you hear is, childhood patterns are hard to break out of. And is that correct? Well, it might be for his map of the world, as we call it in NLP, his set of experiences. But is it true? And we should question that. You see, I questioned it because it didn't match my map of the world. I know that virtually everything is created, apart from the odd phobia and bits and pieces, and a change of belief every now and again, that a lot of things happen in childhood. Think about it. You're a blooming sponge. You're a sponge in those early years, from 0 to 7. You know, we're going to talk about this in beliefs very shortly in another podcast, but you know, you take on what people say uncritically. Uncritically, I can never say, but you know what I mean. So we have to question, is this true? Are they hard to break out? Just because we took them on at childhood, and we might be have a few years on us now, does that mean that they're hard to break out of? Question, where's the data on that? See, in my data, my experience, they can go in a session. They can go in minutes. I mean, just think of a belief. A belief can change, boom, just like that. But the thing is, that belief may have been with you since you were born. So why was it hard to break out of? It wasn't, that's why. So I think you should question. Question, where did that data come from? Is it something useful? You know, why should that be the case? That's another question. Why should it be the case? Look for counterexamples to see if that, you know, if you can't find any counterexamples, you're probably saying, well, I'm edging towards believing that or accepting it, maybe acknowledging it as being nearly right. But you see, that's putting a belief in someone's mind, certainly the way he was. You know, if they take that on uncritically because they respect their sky, then when they go to a therapist, they're going to know, well, we're not going to get a result because it's going to take a long time to break out, especially if they say this was probably caused in your childhood. No, that's not right. So One of the things is, if you get people making a statement that things are difficult, it'll take a long time. Just ask yourself that. Well, Tim Ferriss, great Tim Ferriss, who does his wonderful podcast of deconstructing people's skills, says, what would this be like if it was easy? And just say to yourself, well, if it was easy, would it be that difficult? Well, actually, it can't be difficult, because if it's that easy, what would it be like? Just have a think about that. What are the beliefs that you have that aren't supporting you, or the things that you're doing that aren't supporting you? And if you wanted to change, and you just ask the question, what would it be like if this was easy to change? What would the effect of that be? That becomes motivating to me. And even if you can't do that at the time, that's not a reason to accept that negative statement. Because you can find out about it. You can find examples. Because there's always a great counterexample. Somewhere in the world, someone has done this quickly, or someone has changed that from this to that. So just sometimes it's a matter of, like, with this particular statement, I had to quickly make a note on my phone, a little bit of the old Evernote, or in the notes, and came back to it and thought about it even longer, because I always get, not incensed, but I get, oh no, don't say that. But I had to want to think about it a bit deeper as well, because I wanted to be able to talk to you about it. I wonder what you have in your experience. I mean, if you're a therapist, I'm sure that you've seen instant change. In the medical world, we see instant remission. Okay, sometimes with a little line behind it said, oh, maybe we didn't diagnose it correctly, wrongly diagnosed. But that's all bullshit, isn't it? Because it was instant remission. They were dead certain beforehand. But maybe you've got counterexamples. If you're in your career and someone says, well, you can't do that. Well, maybe in your experience you know that's wrong. Or you ask a wonderful question straight when it comes back, what would happen if we did? Well, if we did, we're now getting motivation. So just write these things down, and then maybe just spend 5 or 10 minutes with a nice big Jenny journal and write out a few notes, some thoughts, by bringing them out in the open. Just by bringing these thoughts into the open and put them on paper, you are going to get clarity. But not only will you get clarity, you will change the way you experience the world, because you'll be looking for the things that will change your experience of the world to the better. I'd love you to let me know what you think about this. Maybe I'm wrong. I know I'm not, by the way. But then I'm rather opinionated when it comes to this type of thing, because I've got the experience that people change in a moment. Seen it so many times. We've done it in the pub with people. Change their problems, change their issues so easily. But that's only this one experience, this context of someone saying something like childhood patterns are really hard to break out of. So, here's a couple of things I'd like you to do. If you got something out of this, or if you have sat down and gone through some counterexamples and some thoughts, I'd love to hear what your results were. What changes did you make? Or if there's something you're struggling with a little bit, come back to me on that one. Here's how I want you to do it. Email me at feedback@personaldevelopmentunplugged.com, and then we'll go through it. We'll talk through it one-to-one here. We'll keep everything anonymous, but when we share this to people, it's going to be awesome, because everyone tends to have similar issues, different causes, but similar issues, but they can solve them. And just by bringing it to light can give people the confidence to and the motivation to change. So what did we learn? What did I learn from this? I learned through all the noise, even the good noises, I should be wary. I should be vigilant, because things will go through the back door and enter my unconscious mind, just as they do when you're a child, and we take them on uncritically. I can't even say it now. But there you go. That's what I learned. What did you learn? Maybe it's just time to just be wary and notice what you want to hear. Don't be biased. Don't use your bias, because sometimes that just takes us to the wrong side. Let's listen to everything, but find out what's truth, or the best truth for us, the best truth that works for us. There you go. I always say there you go, and so, but never mind. I hope you enjoyed that little chat. I even wonder if you're going to notice a difference in the audio, because I've got a new microphone, as I said before, and I've got a new thingy that the microphone goes into, which should make the quality of this audio even better. And if it does, I'd love to know your feedback on that as well, because when we get to the hypnosis tracks I'm going to do, I think they're going to be awesome. I'm even thinking about re-recording some of the early ones, but not yet, because the other day I listened to one of the earlier podcasts, and the sound quality even from a couple of weeks ago is so different, and now I think we're going to take it to another level. So give me your feedback on anything, please. And if you got a little bit out of this, share it. Share it to your best friends. Even just share it to the people who you're not really aware of, because we're never ever certain, or we never know what's behind their facade, behind their walls. Inside their mind, they may be having the issue. And just giving the indication of, come and have a listen to this podcast, you may find it's really useful. Because I hope you find it useful. I'm sure you do. And I know I do. So enough of all that. Enjoy. Have more fun than you can stand. And keep those heartbeats being absolutely bursting with energy, curiosity, creation, imagineering. Let's go make this world even better. Speak to you soon. It's Paul. Bye-bye. Hey, I know what you're thinking. I've heard this before, but you haven't heard this one. So, anyway, I know you've only got so much time in the world. Time is precious. And you've only got so much time to share good things with your friends. So maybe the next time you consider sharing something, you can consider sharing this podcast, or a podcast of mine, of Personal Development Unplugged, that you enjoyed. And share it with, I'd like you to share it with everyone. The pay it forward. And if you pay it forward and then you ask somebody else to pay it forward, we'll be really creating this community of the Personal Development Unplugged kind. So I'd love you to do that, if you could. If you would like to subscribe to this podcast, you can do it through iTunes, you can do it through Castbox. You can do that, and if you'd love to leave a little review, 5 stars is always good, but the words are really more important. If you do that, people say, oh, it takes seconds, but it doesn't. It takes probably a couple of minutes. If you could do that right now, hey, that would be good. And lastly, all this hypnosis that I do is completely free. You have to go to another website though. Keeps it all nice and clean for you. It's also downloadable, which is the bit I like. I want to give it to you, and so you can put it on any device that you want, and you can listen to it anywhere you want. You don't need to have your Wi-Fi, your internet on. So that's at paulcloughonline.com/podcast. You do have to put an email address in, because I have to send you the link to get it. But I just want to tell you now, for all this data protection stuff and everything that's going on at the moment, I do not share your emails with anyone. No one. Nada. They're just to let me send you the link and send you a few updates of the new hypnosis tracks, and what I'm hoping to do as this community, because that's how you get to become like the official member of the Unplugged Personal Development community, is to send some more personal hypnosis tracks that won't be available or talked about on the podcast. There'll be things of my creation which I just want to give to you. So if you'd like that, go there, paulcloughonline.com/podcast. We'll have some great times. We will. I think that's about it. So enjoy every heartbeat. And please remember, do share. Be great. Bye now.
Warning, you are now leaving the unplugged mind of Paul Clough. It's time to fly on your own. Be brave, my friend.
Personal Development Unplugged.